Hey guys, good morning. Okay, so I am running behind. I typically start at 5 o'clock, and I am here now at Hey TikTok. You guys are going to see me looking this way because I'm live on four different platforms. So, good morning. I am typically here at 5, but I started this show. Back up. I'm all frizzles. So, I started this show on Monday the 2nd, and it's supposed to be a morning show talking about different topics. But this morning, last night, I had an interesting dream. So I grew up in the Baptist church, right? The Baptist Church of Guyana. And there was this pastor. I don't know if he's still alive. So if you guys know him, comment in the comment section if you know him. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hello, everybody. So I was in my dream sleep last night, and I dreamt this pastor by the name of Pastor Calvin Haywood. I don't know, I was dropping my kids somewhere. Let me tell y'all the story before I get into what I come to share. I'm going to tell you about my dream. So I was dropping my kids to like a summer camp. And so I'm walking down this road and I couldn't find the church. I asked someone, I saw some guys sitting at the head of the road. So I said to them, hey, I am looking for this specific camp. And they said, go down this street, look for the crossroad that says okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to look for this crossroad that says okay. So I'm going down the street and I came upon this crossroad that says okay. And so I walked down this cross street and then I saw this big church and I saw it said Pastor Calvin Haywood. And then I was like, I know this name. And so I dropped my kids off and I turned back and I went into this church, right? And as I went into the church, I said, he looked at me, and then this woman was sitting at the front of the church pews and she was like, come on in, come on in. And I ended up in the front seat of the church, right? So I'm sitting in the front seat of the church and this pastor started to preach and he spoke about Hagar. Hello, Mano. Welcome in from London. Thank you for coming in. And thank you for coming in and saying good morning too. I appreciate when my followers come in and say good morning. So I eventually just jumped out my sleep. So everything that I had structured for today's live is going to change because I want to talk about Hagar, because when I woke up, that's all that was stuck in my head. Hagar. I know throughout the day, I'm going to understand the message God is telling me, but we're going to dive into it, right? We're going to dive into Hagar. This was not my plan for today. That's why I'm late, because I typically start at 5, but because of this whole dream and what I'm being compelled to speak about, I'm going to be obedient, right? And so I'm going to start. So guys, I took 30 minutes of when I woke up to come up with what I have to say, because like I said, this was not planned. I only came up with these pointers this morning. So bear with me. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning. I'm not ignoring you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome here. I want to also say good morning. Take time out to whoever is saying good morning. Good morning, Ferguson, Anadeli. Most times when I'm live in the morning time, I am rushing, so I just do my presentation and leave. I don't get to call out names, but I have some time this morning because I'm cheating. I'm not going to the gym this morning. So I'm going to say good morning to everyone in real time. Good morning to you, Olivia. So here is what I titled this morning's delivery as: when running fails and God still finds you. When running fails and God still finds you. And my first subtopic is the myth of running from God. Guys, like I said to you, I didn't plan this. This is coming this morning, so allow me to flow, okay? There is a quiet belief many intelligent people carry. If I keep moving, if I stay busy, if I remain useful, God will wait. We imagine God as patient but distant. We assume he honors motion even when it is avoidance. Scripture does not support this belief. People do not run from God because they are rebellious. They run because obedience feels unsafe. Oh my God, this is for me. Hagar did not flee. Good morning, Vanessa. Hagar did not flee God. She fled pain, humiliation, and powerlessness. Yet scripture never separates the two. To run from the place God assigned is to run from God himself, even when your reasons feels justified. This morning's message is not about sinners who run recklessly. It is about capable people who run intelligently. Hagar was the woman who ran and was interrupted. Hagar was not a prophet. She was not a priest. She was not a covenant holder. She was an exploited woman in a powerful household, caught in a decision she did not author, but was expected to bear. When the pressure became unbearable, she ran. Scripture says she fled into the wilderness. That word matters. The wilderness is not a neutral space. It is where structure collapses and illusions die. And it is there that God shows up. Not in the house, not in the system, not in the arrangement that benefited others. God met her in the place where survival replaced strategy. God met her in the place where survival replaced strategy. This is the first heart-rending truth. God does not wait for you to become brave. He meets you when you are tired. That's my first point. God does not wait for you to become brave. He meets you when you are tired. Do you believe that? He meets you when you're tired. Somebody comment that in the comment section. He meets me when I'm tired. Where have you come from and where you're going matters. Where you come from and where you are going matters. God asked Hagar 2 questions, not accusations, not corrections, questions. Where have you come from was the first question. And the second question was, where are you going? These are not geographical questions. They are diagnostic ones. God is not asking for directions. He's asking for honesty. And a lot of times we struggle as humans with being honest of where we came from and where we are going. A lot of times we struggle with where we came from. We don't want to be honest. We don't want to admit where we came from and where we are going. Running fractures clarity. It keeps people moving without naming motives. Many believers pray for direction while refusing this question. Where did you come from emotionally? What broke trust? What moment taught you that obedience could cost you too much? Good morning, Beverly. And where exactly are you going? Not just your vision board, not your confession, your trajectory. High functioning avoidance is still avoidance. God does not chase movement, He confronts motive. Somebody said that for me. God does not choose movement, He confronts motive. What are your motives? What are my motives? The command that sounds cruel. God tells Hagar to return. This is where many times when our spirit tells us deep down we're doing something and it says to return, and we come up with all kinds of excuses. Like for me, if we want to speak about church and going to church, every time I say, okay, I'm going to jump in my car on a Sunday, because I go to church online. Every time, good morning, Sister Jillian, how are you? Every time I say I'm going to go to church, I'm like, I'm going to look at church online. I don't want to drive. I don't want to deal with traffic. I don't want to deal with fake people. I say that all the time. And so we come up with all kinds of excuse. But scripture does not apologize. Return does not mean God endorses abuse or endorses judgment from people. It means God understands timing. Deliverance delayed is not deliverance denied. But leaving prematurely often produces deeper wounds. God gives Hagar a promise before he gives her relief. Why? Because obedience without promise feels like punishment, but obedience with promise becomes endurance. Here is the heart-rending point many do not want. God will sometimes ask you to stay until you learn who you are, not until situation improves. Good morning. Y'all hear that? Sometimes we are going to be in a situation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whatever it is. Sometimes God is going to have us stay in that situation until we learn who we are, not until the situation improves. The God who sees without rescuing immediately, that's who he is. The God who sees without rescuing immediately. We like to be rescued immediately. We don't like to learn the lesson. We sit and be like, oh my gosh, why am I in this situation over and over? Sometimes we're working and we're going to work every day. We're making $500 a week. And by the end of the week, by the time we finish the end of the week, we've blown out that money, and we can't understand why we blow out that money. And year after year, we're asking ourselves, why are we still in this situation? We're asking ourselves, why are we still in this situation? Why is it still happening to me? And it comes down to, are we learning who we are? So I strongly believe, and my husband and I were having this conversation last night at dinner, poverty has many factors. Poverty could be contributed by systems, but poverty also has to do with mindset. Are we finding out why are we in this situation, and are we trying to get out of it? I believe a lot of poverty has to do with mindset also. But let's stay on track to my points. Hagar names God. This is revolutionary. She does not quote Abraham. She does not echo Sarah. She does not borrow language. She calls him the God who sees me, not the God who fixed it, not the God who removed me, the God who sees me, who believes that God sees you, who believes that God sees you, and God knows what you're going through right now. This reveals a very hard truth. Being seen does not always mean being spared, but being unseen always leads to bitterness. Many believers do not need rescue, they need recognition. Oh my goodness. Many believers do not need to be rescued, they need to be recognized. They are angry not because God failed them, but because they believed suffering meant abandonment. God corrects that belief today. And then my point goes a little deeper to when promise is forgotten. Years later, Agar runs again, this time with her child. And this time, God does not tell her to return. Why? Because the season changed. Obedience is not static. What was required in one chapter becomes unnecessary in another. Here is the wisdom point for mature believers. Here is the wisdom point for you today. God does not punish you for outgrowing survival assignments. Somebody put that in the comment section. I feel like I'm talking to myself this morning. I feel like I am talking to myself this morning. God does not punish you for outgrowing survival assignments. The same God who told her to go back now opens her eyes to a well. Provision was always there. She just could not see it while panicking. Hagar is not alone. Jonah ran from responsibility. Moses ran from calling. Elijah ran from exhaustion. And Peter ran from shame. God did not strike them down. He intercepted them. Running does not end the relationship. Refusing to turn does. And here's my closing point. The turn is the miracle. The turn is the miracle. Hagar did not stop running because circumstances changed. She stopped because God spoke. Turning is not dramatic. It is quiet agreement. Agreement to be seen. Agreement to be honest. Agreement to stop confusing motion with faith. This is the final heart-rending truth. God is not impressed by how far you run. He is moved by how quickly you turn. You may still be tired. You may still be afraid. But if you turn, you are no longer lost. If you turn, you are no longer lost. And that is my wisdom for this morning. Wisdom Wednesday. That is my Wisdom Wednesday for this morning. Like I said, this presentation was not planned. I literally sat down this morning while I was doing my devotion and came up with this because of my dream. And if you missed the beginning of this live on TikTok and you want to hear the complete live, you want to hop over to my Facebook page, Athena Winter, or my YouTube, Athena Show, and hear the full presentation about my dream and what inspired me to share about Hagar this morning. A lot of times we run because of many reasons, and things happen, different events happens in our lives, and we try to figure out why it's happening. But sometimes it's because we're running and God is trying to get our attention. And when he wants us to get our attention, he puts us in situations to find ourselves and to know who we are. And sometimes we try not to want to know who we are, or we know who we are, but we are in denial of that fact. So this morning, I want to encourage us, because I am no different from you. And this word is for me and for you. I want to encourage us to search within and find who we are and embrace who we are. Know who we are and embrace who we are. And remember that mankind, our friends, our family, and the people who don't know us see the outside, but God sees the heart. He knows the heart of men. And when mankind, I came across a video yesterday about someone cursing me out, and I looked at it, and part of me started getting angry, and another part of me said, hold up. God knows your heart, and you don't have to take time to prove yourself to mankind. He will place the people in your life that sees you for you. You don't have to take time out to prove yourself to people. And I want to encourage you to not focus on proving yourself to people, but focus on God, because God knows your heart. He knows everything about you. He knows who you are. Don't try to prove yourself to people who will not even care if you breathe or if you eat. Prove yourself to God. I hope this message was a blessing to you. If you are compelled to comment in the comment section and let me know that it was a blessing to you and how it blessed you, that would be very much welcomed. If you are not following me on my YouTube channel, run over there and give me a follow and subscribe to the Athena Show. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. All my viewers on YouTube, all my viewers on Facebook, all my viewers on LinkedIn, and you, my viewers on TikTok. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate your support. See you guys tomorrow morning at 5. TikTok, I'm going to try my best to log in, because I am using one platform to stream across to stream across platforms. So and they do not stream to to TikTok. So I'm going to find a way to make sure that you guys are in, because I really do miss my TikTok family. I used to come here every morning, right? And then I don't know what happened. I am not going to tell a lie and tell you guys, well, this is happening. Life happened. And life is something that happens. And when life happens, you just have to stop, breathe, take a deep breath, embrace all of life, and start again. And that's where we are, embracing life and starting again. I wish you guys a wonderful day. Look forward for content, interact with my content, comment, say hello, and I will definitely say hello back to you. Thank you, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye.